everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. So glad you're here today. Now today I'm working with some Rosie's Studio Jubilee product from Spellbinders. I've got the sticker book. I have the Jubilee designer papers, and they're 6x6, and you've got all these different designs. I have also got the die cut cardstock sentiments, and I've played with this a lot, so I've kind of got things strewn a little bit, but I have those. And I have the die cut cardstock ephemera, and some of the sentiments are in there as well. And then I have the puffy stickers, and there are 2 sheets of it. I haven't used a lot of it, but some of it. We'll use some of it today. And then I have the chipboard embellishments, and there's a couple sheets of that, and I have been blowing them up. And I also have the little butterfly and bow stickers, and we'll be using one of those tonight as well. So that's what we're going to work with. I'm going to pair this with some card sketches, and we're going to bring in, Kendra's Card Challenge 22. Sorry about that, bumped the camera. And we're going to do sketch 1, 2, and 3. So if you've got a great set of paper and you've got some card sketches, you can make some very quick cards. So I've just got a top folding card base here, and I'm going to give it a press, and I've kind of laid my elements out already so I know what I'm doing. And I'm just going to showcase some of the beautiful pattern paper. This is a mint and pink and yellow floral, very pretty. And for it, I'm just going to bring in my glue. We're not going to need very many materials because we've just got the beautiful pattern paper and all of the chipboard and die cut pieces and ephemera and everything that is included with this Jubilee set from Rosie's Studio. I'm just going to get this laid down on here. I will link all of the materials in the description box so you can check it out. I will also link Kendra's Card Challenge in the description box so you can check her out if you've never played along. Basically what she does is she gives a cutting guide and 15 sketches each quarter, and she has a challenge at which if you participate with her sketches and you enter pictures in to the challenge on her site, you can have a chance to win some fun things. Anyway, so I'm going to just follow the sketch, and we're going to bring in some pattern paper. We're going to lay some things down on here, and we're going to have a quick card. So had a really great day today. I was taking care of the boys, and it was really nice. It was beautiful weather, and we spent the entire day outside. My daughter has a big ol' 3 water slide thing, and they were on that all day. It wasn't as warm as I think I would have wanted it to be on there, but they were unbothered by the temperatures, so they were pretty happy with it. And so they had a good fun day. The littlest one took a nap, and then the older one and I went out on the golf cart, and we were going to go to the post office to see if I had any product that I needed to pick up. And we came across some construction workers, and so that's one thing my grandson loves, is to watch the big equipment and everything. And so we sat and did that. And we actually were sitting in a neighborhood kind of adjacent to this, we kind of pulled over and we're just kind of watching from a distance. And the neighbor, the lady that owned the house, came out and brought us bottles of water and said, "Oh, are you guys watching the construction workers?" And she said, "I thought you might need a drink of water." And I thought that was so sweet. Anyway, I'm not getting this laid down on here very straight, and then she additionally told my grandson, she said, "Now you need to ask Nana if you can have this, because you never take anything from strangers." And I thought it was really nice. But anyway, it was super sweet of her to do that. And, we did need a drink of water. So we watched the workers, and then we went to the post office. And then we didn't have anything, but what was fun was the workers were wrapping up for the day, and they were actually parking their big equipment in the parking lot that is associated with the post office. And so Westy then got to see them put their big equipment, to park their big equipment, and we got to talk to them a little bit, so that was fun. Anyway, so it was a fun day. He enjoyed himself, but I'm just moving along here, following this sketch and putting all of my elements together. Now this is one of the bows that was included with the little stickers, and it's got lots of dimension on here. I'm just going to lay it down on there and see how much dimension that has. And of course, you know, it'll lay flat when you go to put it in your card, so that's not going to be an issue there. And then I'm going to bring in, this is the flower that's on here, and I thought it'd be fun to just bring that back in and kind of make it a focal point. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab just a couple big foam stickers, and we'll just give it a little bit of dimension. We don't need a lot. And we'll get this assembled. Now I'm trying to get this done because I am going to go to, they have a t-ball game tonight. It's actually a later game, which isn't good for them because they're so young, and you get to a certain point in the evening and they're exhausted and they're kind of cranky. But anyway, so, and I've got 2 sentiments. One is a chipboard piece that says just for you, and it's sticker backed. And I'm just going to bring this in. I think I want to lay it like right on, I want to attach these together like this. And then we'll just put some glue on this, and then we'll get it stuck down. And this will be our first sketch. And I think it's really pretty, and I got to use some things that are just sitting around in my craft room. I didn't get my paper lined up exactly right, but I think it's a real pretty card. Anyway, so that is sketch 1. Oh, actually, I went out of order. This is sketch 2. Sorry about that. I went out of order with my sketches. So I've got sketch 1 here, and I'm going to bring it in. And I actually have got all of my elements here. So I'm just going to lay this aside, and we'll get going. So I'm going to lay this panel down. This has got some writing on here, and it looks like an old-fashioned peach pie recipe is what it looks like to me that I can read on there. So we'll get this laid down on there, and we'll just keep going. So anyway, so once I get this wrapped up, I'll head down to the ball field and see what happens. Now, my oldest grandson loves to hit the ball, but he doesn't want to field. And my youngest grandson, he doesn't care to hit the ball, but he wants to field everything. And he wants to field it all. In fact, he'll run and take it from somebody on his team just so that he can field. So it's a little chaos, but he's only 3 years old. So you don't expect too much at that age. But it's one of those things that's pretty funny because all the kids are so young, and most of them don't even know what they're doing. There are 2 of the kids that I have observed. I think I'm going to go over here and then we'll space it. There are 2 kids on the team that seem to know what they're doing, but the rest of them don't. And then, so it can be pretty entertaining, but they're just getting exposed to, you know, it's probably their first exposure to any kind of sports. And this is just a real pretty floral pattern paper that we're going to lay down here. And I'm going to bring in one of the beautiful butterflies for this one. And that will be our focal point, along with some puffy stickers for that. So just trying to get this lined up on here. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. Now this is the sketch. Like I said, this is the sketch 1. This is the one we did. I went out of order, but this is the next one. And so I have just, I wanted to kind of tone down all of the patterns. So I've just got a pink and then a white that we're going to layer up on here and create a landing zone for our butterfly and our little sentiment that we've got here. And I'm just going to lay it down, just referencing the sketch. It just goes right there kind of in the middle. We'll get it laid down on there. So it, just really looking forward to the summer and being outside and getting to do things. We've got a lot going on, so that'll be fun. I kind of had this positioned so that it could go like this, and then we could put like our smile on here. And then the sketch calls for a circle, and so I took one of the stickers from the sticker book And I die cut out some circles because I wanted to give it some stability, and I'll put that on there. But let's go ahead and get our smile laid down on here. And then we will add our other pieces. And there's some insides to our letters that I want to leave on that carrier sheet so I don't lay them down on my card. There we go. I managed to get that. So I'm just going to bring this in, and I think I'm going to kind of lay it here because I need room for that circle a little bit. So I'm just going to do smile. And this is going to be a card that you could use for just anything. And we need to get the dot to our eye or our tittle and get it laid down on there. And then I also brought in these embellishments. I thought we could add them. So we're going to bring in our butterfly. And I think I have a little tag there that it had gotten stuck on there. And we're just going to add this. And again, we've got some great dimension with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my circle ready. And this is just a sticker, and it's pretty transparent. So that's why I thought I would use this circle here to lay it on, and it would give it some stability to put it down on our card. I thought it would stabilize it. And so we'll just get some glue laid down on here. And they've got it across here with like a banner. We're not going to add the banner. I think we're going to have enough on here. What I am going to do is kind of do a little opposite of the banner. Instead of going underneath it, I'm going to put this sticker on top of it like this. And we'll have that. And then we can add our little embellishments here and just kind of fill in some of that open space around there. I think that'll be nice. We'll bring in this white one here. And then I've got two more that I can put on the bottom. And just kind of fill that in. And I'm loving that I'm using some of this product. Okay, and that'll finish off that card. Now, I do have some pieces for the insides of these that I didn't want to forget about. So for this one, I have just a strip of the pattern paper here, and I thought I'd put it on the inside. And I'm not going to add an inside sentiment because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be using these particular cards for. So we'll just lay that on there. We've got Smile Gorgeous. And then for this one, I actually had this piece here that I wanted to bring in and lay down in there. It is the background panel for the base of that card. And so we'll bring it in and lay it on the inside here at the bottom. And then that will be pretty. And then we're going to do our third card. So our third sketch, it's kind of a little bit more of a tricky one. You've got some strips and you've got some squares that you're going to add to it. Now the measurements are slightly different because I chose to use a die, and I'm going to make it a shaker. So here are all of our elements, and I've got this banner that I thought we would put on the inside, so I'm going to lay that there so I don't forget. So basically I'm going to lay this bottom layer down on my card and get it laid down on here. And I will tell you, I had to take a break in between the second card and then this one because Pat came in, and so I had to let him know that I was trying to do a video and talk through it, because normally I do voiceovers, but today I'm trying to talk through it. Look how much that is off, and I don't know if it's the card base or if it's the panel or what, but I'm going to bring in, I'm not going to stress over, I'm just going to bring this in, and we will just line this up and just cut it off. It's going to be a little bit off, but it'll be what it'll be. There we go. So there we go. And I'm just going to bring in my layers. Let's see if I get my tweezers here so I can get a hold of this. And we've got this striped pattern paper. I'll get some glue on there and get it laid down. I did refill my glue bottle, so I'm not having to struggle as much with it because I did fill it up. I buy the big Barely Arts and then I just refill with it. These actually come with that Nuvo glue or whatever, but I use the Barely Art. So anyway, these I used a die so that I could cut the same pattern out 4 times and replicate it here on my card. So that's what I did. So we're just gonna do this, and we will get some glue on them and try to get them lined up somewhat straight and see what we can do. So I'm gonna try and get a little frame around here, straighten it up. It's wanting to it shifted on me. I want to get it where I want it. I'm using that line up there to kind of help me eyeball it a little bit. And then we'll bring this one in and we'll get it laid down on there. Try to get a similar border around there. Give it a press. And then we'll just come down here. We're going to do the same thing. Try and get a similar frame around there. So Kendra does these new sketches every quarter. So if you haven't checked her out, you might consider checking her out. Like I said, I will link her information in the description box below. But it's a super fun way to bust up your pattern paper because they're all, you know, pattern paper designs. Now these are all supposed to be 1/4 of an inch, and I don't have a good, none of my cutting devices are good for really tiny strips, and I just had a scrap piece here that I used, and so it was really tiny, and none of mine are really good for that. So they're not even. I'm going consecutively thinner as I go down, and I'm okay with that. And you can make these sketches your own and still enter to win as long as they are, you know, identifiable as the particular sketches. You can do that. And how you do that is you'd make all 15 cards and take a single picture of all 15 cards and enter them. And I will tell you, it is a challenge to take a picture of 15 cards at once. But if you can get that done and enter, you have a chance to win some things. So, all right, so that's basically how that goes. Now, what I thought we would do is make a shaker card out of this. And I've got a little piece of something on there. Let's get that off there. Doesn't want to come off. There we go. And so I have taken one of the chipboard frames and I've put some acetate on the back of it, and I've also got some foam tape on there, and I'm just going to pull these off, and we're going to do our best to try and get some beads laid down in here and not having jump all over the craft room. So I've got to do that. I've got a little box here, and we can go with any of the pink because we've got some really nice pink on our card. And so I'm just going to grab, a triangle tray and just kind of scoop some of those out and put those in there. And I think that'll be fun. I think that's probably plenty. Don't need to get carried away. And then I took the this pattern paper that is in the set there, and I'm just going to take it and lay it down on there very carefully and then give it a good press. And we still have enough sticky tape that it is going to hold it down, but I will go ahead and put some glue on the back of this, and we'll get it stuck down on there. And we've got a little shaker window. I think it's super fun. And these colors all, you know, are representative in this pattern paper, except for, well, it does have some of the blue in there, just not as much. So I'm just going to kind of line this up, and we'll just give it a press. And then I had chosen this floral chipboard piece to kind of fill in, to kind of fill this in and just make like a focal point. I think it looks really pretty. And we've got our shaker with our focal point. And then I've got this Hello Friend that we can add to this. And I think that looks really pretty. And I think we also have a yellow bow, and I hadn't planned on this, but I think we could add, let's give it a try and see. I don't know if we want to use this or not. We could kind of add it to our, and I think that's cute. All right, so I'm using up some of these things. So this is sketch 3. So we've got sketch 1, which I think is really pretty. We've got sketch 2, and we've got sketch 3, which is a shaker. So super fun materials to work with. Oh, I forgot to put this on the inside. Let's go ahead and do that really quick, because I don't want to forget, and we're going to get it in there. And again, I'm not going to add a sentiment to the inside of this. So anyway, I thought we'd just bring this in and just lay it down on there. And then that will finish off our sketch 3. So I've taken a quick picture, and if you like, hit that like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Here's a couple more videos you can watch. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.